What's up guys, Jeff Cavalier, ATHLEAN-X.com. So today I'm going to show you how to get ripped, because all you're going to have to do is copy the 5 little things that are on this list. And the good thing is I've already done all the meticulous research. We put the science behind the strength here, right? So we've got the research done. You just got to take out a pen and copy these. Just start doing these 5 simple things. So let me start revealing them one by one. Remember, write them down so we get these right, all right? The first thing is, you're going to have to juice fast once every 17 weeks. Okay, now don't question this, because this is all research has proven all of these things. Just do what I say. Okay, number 2, you're going to have to do fasted cardio every other day. Now don't confuse this, guys. We're not talking about fed cardio. We're talking about fasted cardio every other day, not every day. Next, you're going to drink 1 teaspoon of apple cider vinegar 30 minutes after waking. Okay, now if you were to do this, let's say 40 minutes or 45 minutes after waking, you've got big problems. Remember, follow this advice, guys. I promise you it's going to work. Next one, never eat after 6 p.m. That's obvious. Even your mom told you that. Don't do that. And then lastly, you have to cycle low-dose tren with TRT, because that's what everyone says. There's no way you can be lean without doing that. But there's just 5 things, guys. Okay, enough of this. Wait, hold on. What is this one? There's one. Oh, one more? What's that? You just got Rick rolled? Jesse, what is... Is that still a thing, Jesse? Did you put that in there?
I'm bringing it back.
Okay, all right. So obviously, guys, I'm kind of half joking, because you've probably heard most of those things on that list. And you might have even been a little bit more realistic about it and heard things like, well, let's follow the Jeff approach. You talked about it last week. You don't drink. You don't have cheat meals. You have like 1 a year. Is that, though, necessary? Is that the formula for being ripped? I'm going to tell you right now, no, not at all. It works for me, but it's certainly not required. I can tell you there are so many guys out there that are incredibly lean year-round, that are having more than a couple cheat meals, and that are certainly drinking alcohol. So that's not the thing. What I want to do for you today here is give you an extremely helpful video, a real video, a no bullshit video that's going to tell you exactly what you need to do, because every person that walks around lean year-round will have the actual 5 things here, the attributes and the habits that I'm going to share here with you today. So if you do anything, try to listen carefully, even though if you were a little disappointed that some of those things weren't the quick answer. I promise you this is going to be the more helpful answer, all right? So the first thing you want to do is, if you're going to be walking around year-round lean and finally get rid of the body fat you've been carrying, you can't diet. You can't diet. No guy that walks around lean year-round diets. They've already gotten rid of that from their terminology. They are now eating. They're fueling their body. It's nutrition. It's a lifestyle. I've said this so many times on this channel, and I want to say it again because it needs to become part of your mantra. You cannot diet. A diet is based on deprivation. A diet is based on a temporary status. A diet is based on not being able to stick to it for the long term. And it's completely opposite of the thought of being able to get lean and stay lean year-round and year after year after year. So dieting cannot be part of that. And oftentimes I've said too that when you get to a certain level of leanness through dieting, it's that same technique that got you there that is most likely going to be the one you're going to have to stick to stay there. And if it was difficult to get there because it was based on deprivation, you're not going to be able to stay there. So no guy that walks around lean year-round has anything in their vocabulary that even resembles a diet or a form of a diet. It's nutrition. The second thing is, you got to drink lots of water. And I know it sounds kind of standard, and you've probably heard this advice a lot, but there's reasons for this. One of them goes along with the fact that when you drink water throughout the day, you become more aware of the difference between thirst and hunger. And when you need to fuel your body, you do so with smart choices as opposed to poor choices. If you stay hydrated throughout the day, you also get the secondary benefits of actually having more energy. We all know that your energy can sag if you stay away from water throughout the day as needed. You start to become dehydrated and your performance decreases. Even if just by percentage points, it can have a big impact, especially when you head to the gym and it's time to train. Because number 3, the thing that everyone that's ripped will do, and this could be a shocker to some, is they will prioritize when they get to the gym high intensity, high effort weight training any day over cardio. And again, that's probably opposite. You think, well, no, I got to get my cardio in. That's the number 1 thing guys think. I got to get my cardio in if I'm losing weight. No, you don't. The most important thing you can do is prioritize your weight training, because the more lean muscle you build, the more likely you are going to be able to stay lean forever. Not just for a short period of time, because we know that muscle tissue is more active. We know that by doing weight training, we have a much higher likelihood of adding lean muscle to our body than we do through conditioning and cardio. We know that our insulin sensitivity is higher, and that means that we have a different response to the food that we put in our body because we've added lean muscle tissue. All of these things will arm us to become much better equipped to handle the lifelong pursuit here of being lean, as opposed to burning a few extra calories in a conditioning workout or a cardio workout that is very, very temporary and consolidated to that one effort and one bout of cardiovascular work. So the better thing is, if you had to scrap that part of the workout because you're short on time, you strength train, you weight train, you try to add more lean muscle to your body. And everyone that's lean and rich will tell you that is what they do every single time. Guys, I would be ashamed to admit the lack of conditioning that I do in my own workouts. Now, am I conditioned? Can I go out and do a workout that's conditioning? Of course I can, because I've been training athletically my whole life. But I would say I don't do enough conditioning. What I do is I prioritize my nutrition, and I strength train and I weight train. So you want to make sure you're doing the same thing. Next, we talk about, in those weight training sessions, are you lifting the weight that you should be lifting, or are you lifting the weight that you can lift? Now, there's a few things here, guys. When we talk about lifting the weight that we can lift, we're talking more about pure strength training. And the thing about pursuing pure strength training is a lot of times that little extra weight is actually is something that will work to your advantage. It can create additional leverages, allow you to move more poundages, right? And that's a good thing if that's what your pursuit is. However, if your goal is to be as lean and as ripped as possible, I've also talked about, even in my most recent video about my body stats, that being lean is always going to make you look more muscular. It's always going to make you look better no matter what level of muscularity you're at. So the key is you want to make sure that when you're in the gym, you're commanding the weights that you're lifting. I'm not saying don't lift heavy. You want to lift as heavy as you possibly can, but not at the pursuit of strength only, or not at the expense of bad form. Because we also know that when you start to go down that avenue, injuries can happen. If you're obsessed with the numbers only, injuries likely occur. And when that happens, guys, that is the fastest way to find yourself going from in shape to out of shape. Because once you lose the activity, once you lose the ability to get to the gym regularly, usually it's the same time when you start to say, it doesn't really matter that much what I eat today because, I didn't even work out anyway, so who cares? And you start to compound that day after day, week after week, and you start falling off the tracks and you never get back on them. So you want to make sure you're lifting the weight that you should be lifting rather than always trying to pursue the weight that you maybe can lift. And last but not least, guys, the key to all of this, and please don't understate this one, I'm saving the best for last, consistency. Consistency is always key. Consistency is what is going to be the thing that unlocks whatever troubles you're having right now with getting lean. And I know what you're saying, Jeff, I know, but the consistency is the problem. No, it's not the problem, guys. The consistency is not the problem. The consistency is trying to be consistent with things that you cannot be consistent with. If you're dieting, you can't be consistent with that. I'm telling you right now, guys, it's impossible. The two don't go hand in hand. Diet is short-term. It's got a time lapse on it. Something's going to expire. There's an expiration on that diet. You cannot remain consistent with that. If you've learned how to eat well, if you've chosen foods that work for you, if you've chosen foods that you like, imagine that concept. You actually like the foods. You're eating them regularly because you like them and enjoy them. Now we're talking about consistency. If you find a style of training that you enjoy, if you start to see results from that training, you're going to stay consistent with it. If you're not trying to do things in the gym that you shouldn't be doing because your body's not capable of doing them yet, I'm not saying forever, but maybe yet, then that's going to set you up for failure because you could get hurt. And you're, once again, not going to be consistent. Find a way to make it consistent. When you do, these 5 things are going to set you down a path that you are going to come back to this video for and thank me for many, many times because it's going to work. I promise you it's going to work. And it doesn't revolve around short-term diets and fads and strategies and apple cider vinegar and low-dose trend and TRT and any other things that guys say. Those are the excuses people make when they can't get there. Those are the things that people say that when they can't get there themselves, when they can't face themselves in the mirror and say, I can't make this work. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You just have to do exactly what I showed and told you here. If you're looking for a plan, guys, that you actually can follow, that's laid out, based on science always, but laid out in a way that's doable, that's something that you can stay consistent with, That's one of the hallmarks of what we do with ATHLEAN-X. We provide you with plans and workouts that you actually can do and stick with for the long term, because it's never about tomorrow or the next week or even next month. It's about the lifetime. All of our programs are available over at athlean-x.com. If you found the video helpful, guys, please leave your comments and thumbs up below. Let me know some of the other things that you struggle with, and I'll try to help you with those in future videos. And if you haven't already, guys, please subscribe and turn on your notifications so you never miss a new video as I publish them. All right, guys, we'll be back here again soon in just a few days. See ya.